Welcome to the No New Friends podcast, the podcast for adults who love to laugh at adulting. In this episode, we talk about how pets control our lives. Then Mary's bosses come in and try to explain to us what Mary does. We still have no idea. And they talk all about cryptocurrency. Now, in this segment, it's the highlights of our interview. We will be releasing a bonus episode with the interview in its entirety. And then finally, we talk about the first day of school as Mary and my kids went back to school this week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode. Our cats, same thing. We're going to have to replace floorboards with the amount of damage that they've done, because if there's just one piece of waste in their litter box, they piss on the floor.
Oh, nice.
It's
Gotta
awful.
love cats.
Oh my, they're assholes.
I hate
They're
cats.
assholes.
I hate cats.
Chris, before we get to Mary, because Mary's probably going to want to talk all about waffles and all that, but Chris, how does your dog rule your life?
So my dog, we bought my dog as a miniature poodle, and you guys have seen my dog. It is not a miniature poodle. If you guys have ever seen the movie Lilo and Stitch, you know how Stitch gets here from outer space? That's how my dog got here. My dog is
626.
is an alien. She's 627. Yeah. So.
And now it's time for the No New Friends podcast with Scott, Mary, and Chris.
Come on at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
That's right. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast, voted number one by our friends and family. We are the podcast for adults who like to laugh at adulting. Please connect with us. All of our links are in the show notes, the episode description. That's that Linktree link in that episode description. And then also we have new merchandise out, and the link is right there as well. Really cool shirts, hats, masks, hoodies, coffee mugs, you name it, we've got it. We're still working on the Mary merch, but we've got merchandise. My name is Scott. I am the host. And with me, as always, the star of the show, the queen of the sunrail, Mary.
Mary.
And our producer, the scumbag reselling hoarder himself, Chris.
I see dead people.
And that is obviously from Sixth Sense.
Is it because my name is Ghost Mary?
Yeah, you got the
You
connection.
see me specifically?
Yeah.
I just like to be seen. Chris, thank you for seeing me.
Oh, no problem, Mary.
I like to feel seen.
So all three of us have pets, right? Chris, you've got a dog.
Yep.
Mary, you've got waffles. I've
Not
got
a dog. Beautiful human baby angel. Not human. Okay, maybe not human, but like angel baby.
perfect description to get into what I wanted to talk about. I want to talk about how pets absolutely run our lives.
100%. Yeah.
Okay. I had to spend several hours yesterday researching couch covers because, you know, our couch is only 2 years old. We bought it brand new from City Furniture. It's a beautiful sectional, and my lab wants to lay on it. So we had to buy him a couch cover for what's that called? What's that extension piece called? The chaise or whatever? Yeah. So we had
Chaise Lounge.
Oh, yeah, the chaise.
the chaise.
Chaise.
So he was laying there. Well, now that was my spot. I can't lay there anymore because Jack wants to lay on it. So I have to move over to the corner of the couch. Well, now he wants to get closer. So now I've got to get covers for this entire damn couch. Okay. We've got a rule, no pets on the furniture. Well, he's made his spot on the furniture. And also our other dog sleeps with us in bed, which was like the number one rule.
All those plastic covers for your couches, like the ones from the
we're
70s,
going to be like an old person. We're going to be like, Mary, I don't know, with just old stuff. And our cats, same thing. We're going to have to replace floorboards with the amount of damage that they've done, because if there's just one piece of waste in their litter box, they piss on the floor.
Oh, nice.
It's
Gotta
awful.
love cats.
Oh my, they're assholes.
I hate
they're
cats.
assholes.
I hate cats.
So Chris, before we get to Mary, because Mary's probably going to want to talk all about waffles and all that, but Chris, how does your dog, first of all, what kind of dog and how does it rule your life?
So my dog, we bought my dog as a miniature poodle, and you guys have seen my dog. It is not a miniature poodle. If you guys have ever seen the movie Lilo and Stitch, you know how Stitch gets here from outer space. That's how my dog got here. My dog is
626.
is an alien. She's 627. Yeah. So she's the best. She's a really sweet dog. I always say this to everyone: having a dog is the best thing in the world, and it's the worst thing in the world. Because it's the best in the world. Because I don't have kids, so I assume this is what having a kid is going to be like. It's the best thing in the world when they're happy and healthy. It's the worst thing in the world when they're sick or
Sure.
there's something wrong with them. And it's even worse like when you have a dog, because you can't ask them, hey, what's going on? Why are you standing in the middle of the floor shaking? Like they're not going to tell you why.
They're not
So
going to tell you.
So then you assume the worst. So I have this really bad habit that when I can't believe I'm saying this. I never even told Emily about this before, but when my dog starts like making a weird coughing sound or stuff, I just get really bad anxiety, so I leave the room. So I'll just go.
Oh,
So like last week, she's making this really bad like coughing sound, and it's like I keep asking, I'm like, this is normal, right? Like she's fine, right? She's maybe just licking her paws, just hair in her throat. And Emily goes, yeah, but then she'll be like, and it's just like dogs shouldn't be making those noises. So I'm like, I have to go to the bathroom. Then I'll come back a half hour. Like, hey, how's Bailey doing? And then Emily will be like, oh, she's fine. I was like, oh yeah, I kind of figured that. So as long as they don't hear running towards me, I know that everything's okay.
Oh
my
my
dog's notorious for doing dumb stuff. She's very jealous. So like, I don't know if I told
we've
this
talked
story
about
before.
this with the bees.
About the bee. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
like
Our
knowing that
Mary is
she-
notorious for doing dumb stuff,
So, and you just gotta keep an eye on
Wait
it.
a minute.
like
That's
riding the railing up.
Yeah.
That's not nice.
You don't need bees.
That's not dumb. I did
don't need
go up
bees.
though. I did. I don't know how magically the power of the white claw just like pushed me up your banister. Chris, continue
So-
on. Sir.
So my
Help.
my dog, and just a little bit of how it runs my life. We've been in this apartment for 3 years. We are on our second couch and third rug because
Oh,
my dog has a very, very, very small bladder, and when she runs around outside and has to go to the bathroom, she doesn't always like to tell us, or she gets jealous that we're doing something and then just goes. So
Ugh.
yeah, our last shag rug, yeah, that was the worst investment ever. It lasted like 4 months.
oh God.
We're back to another a thin rug. Yeah, so she runs our lives because she's needy and has a small bladder. But
Yeah.
it's we submit to them. We submit to our pets.
For sure. Chris, the amount of money that we spend on getting our 3 dogs groomed,
Mm.
Oh
is
my god!
insane. It's
I used to try to do it
insane.
myself. I did it myself, and she kept trying to bite my hand. I was like, all right,
No,
you gotta
no.
take it to a professional.
No.
Also, like this is how I know my dog runs my life. I went to Dunkin' Donuts the other day, and in the drive-thru there was a sign for dog toys. So I asked the person, I was like, well, how much are your dog toys? She's like $12.99. And I'm thinking, okay, never mind. That's, I'm thinking to myself, that's a little high. So I got up to the window and she brings up the 2 toys. She's like, oh, which one did you want? I was like, oh, no, I'm sorry. Maybe next time. You know how bad I felt? I felt so bad that I didn't buy my dog this toy. Like
Right.
she would ever know. And that's when it hit me. It's like, wow, like this dog is just runs my life. She's the most privileged little dog that I've ever known.
Yep. All right, Mary, tell us about waffles.
How do I describe how do you describe a beautiful summer morning? There's no words for this perfect pup. So Waffles, I will say, when I don't feel well or anything is upsetting me, Waffles knows. She gets in bed and she'll put her little nuzzly corgi head on me, and it's so sweet. But then also, and hopefully our listeners understand how floofy and wonderful a corgi butt is. Their little butts, like their little floofy tails, like that's a whole thing. Like corgi,
Yeah, corgi butts was like a corgi.
Yeah,
butt
it's
fetish
like a
for
thing.
sure.
So it's such a thing. My mom.
I just
bought
want
me
our listeners to
leggings,
know
and
how great my butt is.
listen, I will post this maybe for our Patreons, but my mom bought me leggings that make my butt look like a corgi butt. Like it's like outlined as a corgi butt on the top of the leggings.
And
Because
that
I'm
is
so-
how her dog runs her life.
it is. No, my mom knows that I am that obsessed with my dog. Waffles is my baby. And so Waffles knows that in the morning, so she lays and snuggles with me and it's wonderful. It's great. But she knows that she gets eggs and bakey too. And she does this little butt shimmy, and she knows what to do to tell me that she's ready for her eggs and bakey. She's
How old is Waffles?
Waffles will be 1 year old on October
she's still
10th.
Yeah,
October 10th
Waffles
is
is a
her
puppy.
birthday.
Oh.
Guys, we're going to celebrate that probably.
When
That's
is
the
it?
whole thing.
When is it?
October 10th.
Bailey's
10,
birthday
10.
is October-ish too.
Whose?
It's like the
Whose
6th or
birthday?
This
7th.
dog, Bailey.
Bailey, my dog.
You don't know? October-ish.
It's October-ish.
Well, yeah, Jax is October-ish also, and so is Brantley's. But
Yeah.
They're all gotcha days.
Oh, no, we
too.
have an exact date.
Oh no, I have an exact date too. I
October
forgot.
10th.
Yeah, I don't. All of mine are rescues because we adopt, don't shop. So we don't know the birthdays.
Oh, I
yeah, I
shop.
can't.
I look for the,
You
like,
can't
shriveled
adopt a
dog.
Waffles. I'm real sorry.
I would have
Real sorry about
adopted, but somebody had puppies. So
And
I really wanted a miniature poodle that turned out to not be a miniature poodle. So
Oh yeah, that's
we
all
wanted we bought her as a miniature poodle because
Let-
hypoallergenic, doesn't sheds everywhere.
No, well,
everywhere.
okay, that's a problem though. Waffles does shed everywhere, and she is a little high maintenance, but same, I guess.
I
no,
never
I'm
wanted
not.
to be one of
I'm
those-
not. Actually, she's high maintenance for me, I think.
I never wanted to be one of those dog fur people. You wear a black shirt and there's dog fur on it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now I
no.
wear dog fur with a black shirt on.
Now,
No,
Mary-
it's at the point where my kids have lint rollers in their backpacks, and you think I'm joking, but they do.
Mary,
because of Waffles?
is it that Waffles is high maintenance, or did you make Waffles high maintenance?
No, I think that no. Let's just think about me in general. I'm not high maintenance. I don't think. You made a face.
Chris is making a face too.
What part of me is high maintenance? I'm just cold and I like Diet Coke. That's it. That is the most high maintenance part of me ever.
Okay.
What else? What is high maintenance?
The fact that we have you on here after 9 o'clock is a very rare situation
is.
because you need to be in bed by 9:01.
I value sleep. That's not high
You know what?
maintenance.
I think maybe that'll be a fun episode on another occasion. is
Just
we'll-
discussing why I am
Yes.
high maintenance.
Just discussing why
no,
you're high maintenance.
Here's the thing. Waffles is beautiful. I will say though, the other day Waffles almost
Picky
killed a
eater.
biker.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I was walking Waffles and she was a victim of circumstance.
I can't.
It was early. It was like 6:45 a.m. Okay. So picture it, Lake Mary, 6:45 a.m. There's a biker going down the road and it's like one of those really like intense bikers. Like he meant what he
Oh,
was
yeah.
doing. Waffles loves attention and I don't know where she gets it from. Okay. Like I don't know. I
Not
don't
her
get
high
it.
maintenance mother.
Not at all. And she wanted to love him as he biked by very quickly, like
Oh,
being a
no.
biker. And I saw it happening. He saw it happening. And she went to go leap at him to get snuggles. And I like had to jerk her back. So like she was like, "Meow," and I was like, "Meow." And then the biker was like, "Meow." All of us.
Where were the
panicked all at
cats?
the same time.
Meanwhile, the cats are like, ruff.
Yeah, exactly. So she tried to jump on a biker as he walked by, or bike by as we walked by, and it was terrible. And
I think she's been overhearing your serial killer podcast. She's just trying to impress her mom.
Exactly. All right, we got to go to break. When we come back, we're going to have two gentlemen on from Mary's work from Viva Capital Management.
look,
They're-
what I'm telling you is I have a real job, everyone.
yeah,
That's
see.
what I'm
Don't
trying to say.
we still don't know. Now, here's the fun fact about this next segment that you're about to hear. We actually recorded it a couple days ago, and it is pretty lengthy. So we've split it into we've edited it down, and we will be releasing a bonus episode with that entire interview in its entirety because it is fascinating. There's a lot of interesting things that I didn't know about. So we put the highlights in there for this next segment. And if you want to hear it and learn more about cryptocurrency and all that good stuff, stay tuned
And
for
why
our bonus
Mary is a
episode.
genius too.
And why the
No.
people that she works with are very, very, very smart. Okay.
Thanks, God.
You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.
What is it that you do here? Merchandising.
Merchandising?
Merchandising.
Merchandising! Merchandising!
That's right. The No New Friends podcast now has merchandising. Please visit the merchandise link in our link tree. That's link, linktr.ee/No New Friends podcast. Or you can go directly to that's TEE public.com/user/NNF. Get your No New Friends merchandise today. Hey, New Friends listeners, if you're anything like me, you don't have the desire or time to clean your own house. That's why I've been using I Believe services for the last 5 to 6 years. They are your one-stop shop for all of your cleaning needs. They do commercial, house cleaning, vacation homes, post-construction, party cleanup, deep cleaning, move-in or move-out, pressure washing, laundry, inside cabinets, fridge, oven, and much more. Call them today, 407-928-4595. Check them out on Facebook or their website, ibelieveservices.us. No New Friends podcast is now using Nikki Podcast Preparations Incorporated, which is a podcast management consultant agency of services that helps independent podcasts obtain more plays, downloads, guests, sponsors, and a bunch of the legwork behind the microphone when it comes to podcasting. CEO Nick can be contacted via Twitter or Instagram at NikkiPPINC. And if you tell him that the No New Friends podcast sent you, we'll both get a 25% discount. Nikki has helped accumulate millions upon millions of downloads, tens of thousands of dollars in sponsorships, celebrity guests, and much more. So just shoot him a direct message to get your podcast growing.
Hey, this is Craig Brooks with Tasty Trivia, and you're listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast with Scott, Mary, and Chris. So with us tonight, we've got some very special guests because if you're new to this show or if you've heard it before, we have no idea what she does for work. And anytime we ask, she explains it and we're like, what? So we brought some people who can help
We brought in the experts.
We brought in the
Quite
experts on
literally.
what Mary does. From Viva Capital Management, we've got Justin and Omar. How you guys doing tonight?
Thanks for having us.
Of course. So to start things off, because we've got a lot to talk about because you guys handle cryptocurrency and I want to find out what you do. And then I also want to understand cryptocurrency a little bit more. But first, help us understand what Mary does. What does Mary do for you?
Mary makes everything work.
Mary makes everything run. Wow.
Pretty much. So she's a bit of a what do you call those spies that don't tell you much, but then you find out and you're like, whoa, I didn't realize it was that much. And I was like, man, that's crazy. So
when she takes a day off, your plants die and the toys aren't arranged properly.
You know, when we're messaging online and she's like, I'm not home, I have to make several phone calls. I'm like, Mary is not in today. What do I do?
Thanks, guys. But I don't know if you noticed, but everyone still is like, we're not sure. We're just going to use a lot of words. She shows up at the office and we know that.
She's very happy to ride the train. She was excited about that when she found out where we were. So
that's all we know about Mary is that she rides the Sunrail.
It doesn't seem very reliable, to be quite honest. I mean, there's been enough times where she's sitting there like, I had to take my car. I'm like, well, then what was the point of the train?
Oh, thank you. I'm a big train hater. Sorry, Jared. I'm gonna get some looks from Jared. My fiance always wants to take the train into Philly, and Philly's 15 minutes driving from us. So we get to the train. It takes 15 minutes to get in. Then at the end of the night, we have to wait 45 minutes for the train for a 15-minute ride home. Yeah, so I'm a big train hater as well.
That's Philly trains, though, Chris.
Yeah,
we've talked about this. The trains here are different.
Yeah, my setup is nice
Chris,
and it's fantastic.
The trains here are a luxury experience or a haunted train. You know, one of the two.
I wouldn't go luxury experience. I don't know if we're going to do a stories from the Sunrail segment tonight.
If you are going to do that in the future, something that would be fun is to do that test where you hold a book in your lap with a really awkward title so that people can see what you're reading. That'd be a lot of fun.
That would
I'll
be
do that
fantastic.
tomorrow. I have plenty of books with awkward titles.
Just get a cover made. You should totally do that. That would be fantastic.
Yes. I'm going to need video for YouTube content, please.
Yes.
All right.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. So Justin and Omar, kind of tell us a little bit about what you do, and then I have a ton of questions. Kind of give me the general synopsis of what you guys do.
We're a full service cryptocurrency firm. So we help our clients basically acquire cryptocurrencies. We manage their assets and, basically help them grow. So very much similar to what you're used to in traditional finance markets with like a financial planner or a Fidelity, Ameritrade, that type of thing. We're doing the exact same thing. The only difference is it's in cryptocurrency, not traditional markets.
Do you guys handle more of the legal aspect or like the financial advising aspect of it?
We kind of handle a little bit of everything in terms of we do help them. We have an in-house legal team that helps with different aspects of, the legalities that are around cryptocurrency, as well as really kind of taking them from A to Z in a journey. Usually clients come to us because they have issues already. They're in cryptocurrency. They owe a lot of tax. They're trying to mitigate that tax as much as possible. Clients come to us in different stages. So we're there to help them in very various ways.
Gotcha. So I'm one of those non-believers. I want to be honest, and I want to kind of understand a little bit more about this cryptocurrency. I mean, it's the newest fad out there. I don't want to say fad. It's the newest thing out there. It's the 2021 version of the pet rock, if you will. But people are making a ton of
the worst comparison I've ever heard.
Also, a little bit of sarcasm, but okay. So with traditional stocks, I can kind of see market trends and kind of see what's going well, what's doing well. When there's a global pandemic coming in, I know to move my stuff out of hospitality and into Amazon. What is the backing with Bitcoin or different cryptocurrencies? What backs it? What is there any type of predictive mentality that you can have with the cryptocurrency?
Yeah, there is. There's definitely different models and how it's valued and whatnot. But before jumping into the answer to that, usually the better question to start with is having an understanding of what actually is money. Because that's when you get into more of the actual conversation around a currency or units of value. So for example, if you're saying you're in the stock market right now, what are you actually owning? You're owning digits on a screen that represent shares in something called the United States dollar that is backed by nothing at this point. So effectively, you're supporting a company that earns revenue in a currency that is make believe. So that's like one form of the side of it. But then you can look at like the crypto side of it. There's definitely a lot of scams and stuff out there in crypto. But it's kind of like looking at projects and how do you value an ecosystem. Bitcoin, for example, is purely and most cryptocurrencies are not valued in like a discount cash flow or the company is worth $10 billion because it made X revenue. They're valued in what's called like the network effect. That's like how Facebook grew. The more people that used it, the more value it became. And I don't know if you remember back in the day, was it like 90s or whatever, when Sony, it was like Sony versus Betamax kind of thing. They had like, one of them had the better quality product, but Sony failed at it, and so the best product doesn't always win. It's the adoption and who's using it. And that's a good case of what's happening with cryptocurrency at the moment. Bitcoin has a lot of merits to it, and we can go into the nerdy stuff if you want, but it really comes down to the value of it comes down to, are people using it? And if people are, and they're consistently using it, then that's where the value of interchange comes from in that regard. So it's quite a big topic. So it depends where you want to go.
Yeah. It really is.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, is I don't even know the right questions to ask. I mean, my wife gave me kind of a list, but I don't even know that they're the introductory questions.
How about this? Cryptocurrencies, it's kind of shouldn't be named that. They're not currencies. A lot of coins are used for specific purposes. For instance, we have coins that create smart contracts. So for instance, a good use case that you will see this happening in the future, I will be able to sell property to you and I will be able to put it on blockchain, an immutable ledger seen across the entire network. I don't need a title company because it'll be held on blockchain and people will be able to see it. So for instance, that token or that coin that handles that has nothing to do with currency. Okay. So think of the different coins that are out there as, I guess, stocks in a way, but like they're there for different use cases, not necessarily currencies. Bitcoin was created to be a currency. Polkadot is not meant to be traded as currency, not meant for me to go to Starbucks and use. It's meant for very different reasons. So you have what they call NFTs. Those are ones that are designed around tangible products like this microphone or something like that. And I want to digitize it. you would create an NFT around that, and that could be sold. There's literally been NFTs of like artwork sold for hundreds of millions of dollars. And there's auctions. There's literally an auction at Christie's for NFTs where they're literally bidding into the hundreds of millions of dollars for these digital forms of artwork. So I would say they call it cryptocurrencies, but not everything is used as a currency. Actually, far fewer are used for currencies as they are for actual uses in the world besides like money transfer.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Probably a real simple way to understand like the best, most productive use now is that a cryptocurrency is a digitized or tokenized, ledger or bookkeeping of something that has value. It could be, it could be a company, in the future, it might be a piece of artwork that's split up into a million pieces and each person has a little bit of it. It could be a song, like Jay-Z and all these big artists are going into crypto to create tokens behind their music and their companies, all this kind of stuff, because it gives people a vehicle to directly engage with their audiences without all the middlemen. The key thing that makes it work though, and this is where the crypto element comes in, is it's immutable. What all that means is it's like a ledger, a giant ledger in the ether web kind of thing that cannot be changed. That's what blockchain does. It has one timestamp. And because there's a network of many, many nodes in the network, it's impossible to change the past history of that ledger unless, you coordinate like entire world's electricity at the one time to kind of do it. And that's why it's really exciting, because practical use stuff in the future means we're not too far away from, if you want to get a home loan and get a mortgage and buy a house, you log onto your phone and 10 minutes later, you got a mortgage. No bank, no lawyer, no broker, no nothing. You save all of the middleman fee, bam, done, house bought, perfect, smart contract done.
Well, for instance, you've got crypto. I could send you, Scott, $1 billion right now. You know how much that would cost me to send you $1 billion? And by the way, that would take me about 5 minutes to send you. Couple dollars. Okay. And I can send you $1 billion.
Can we hook that up right now?
Certainly can.
Me up
Remember
too,
the
Justin.
part where I don't have money?
but the point being is, I have in the power of my hand more power than all the gold you have stored somewhere. Do you know how expensive it is to move gold? You have to have security. You have to have vaults. You have to. I can literally, with the touch of a button, transfer that money how I see fit. I have borderless. It's not controlled by a government, so no one can stop me from doing it. Literally, it's the network. So I'm working with other people. And I think I told you before the show, like I myself was not a believer, and I kind of saw the run up in 2017. And really my belief behind that was I don't see enough institutional players in the game. Once I started seeing big money come into the picture, that's when you start to take notice. The opportunities are always there when a lot of people aren't looking. You're going to look at this in 10 years and go, yeah, I needed to be on that. I wish I would have been 10 years ago.
Right.
And that's fine because there's those early adopters. But I'm telling you, there are companies out there putting billions of dollars. Literally, either Visa or MasterCard are settling their transactions on the Ethereum blockchain now.
Wow. If you have a Visa credit card, you're already supporting crypto. So whether you don't believe it or not, you just, yeah.
That's amazing. Justin, you brought up something that I wanted to ask about. Sure. I very casually got into Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum. I don't even know if I'm saying them right.
Back in 2000, casually.
Yeah, I got into it casually.
What is this? Are you like dating? What is this?
I know.
I decided to swipe right. I don't know. Like,
I put in a total of like $80, and
I took it out for a drink.
Yeah, I took it out for a drink. I didn't call it later, but
not you. It's me.
Yeah, gave it all the natural ones. But I went through Coinbase, and just someone that worked for me was like, "Oh, you've got to do this," and I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna do it." It was trending up. That's what everybody was talking about. And then I just kind of watched everything just kind of go away. And then all of a sudden, within the last, year, or 6 months to a year, it's coming back. And that's all I hear about is Dogecoin and Bitcoin. And it's like, I thought this went away. What's the difference between now and back in like 2017, 2018?
I think it was just the players in the market. Like I said before, these were the early stage adopters. These were the true innovators of what we see going forward now. And so I think it was just harder at the time to see large banks, large investment firms wanting to put allocations of their portfolios into it.
I was going to say, it's really interesting, why people kind of get into it. And you can get lost a lot of the time in the minutia of like, is it going up? Is it down? Which one's a scam? Which one's not? It's in a lot of people looking at charts and whatnot. But I think the way I like to understand it is really to get people to look at the big picture, which is coming back to that question of what is money. And, here's a big question. Why is so much money going into crypto? What's happening in the world? And a lot of it is because it just comes down to the structure of money. Like if you look at a fiat currency, so the US dollar right now, so the official inflation rate is 5% in the US at the moment. The unofficial and more realistic value is around 10%, depending on which reports you look at. Now, what does that actually mean without getting all boring? What it means is your net worth, your wife's net worth right now in 5 years will literally be half what it is today in purchasing power if you don't change anything. You're literally going broke by doing nothing in the United States dollar. And the question is, that is what people are seeing. They're like, well, where do we put our money? What do we do so we don't ruin our lives? You've seen Venezuela, you've seen Greece, you've seen all these other things that have happened right before our eyes, and it happens every empire, as it goes on. Throughout history, every several thousand years, every fiat currency that is in existence has a 100% guaranteed failure rate. Not one of them has lasted. And we're just doing the same thing over and over again. So all people are doing is going, well, I've got all this money. Where do I put it so that I can actually support my family in the years to come?
Sure.
And that's why they're flooding into the crypto market.
I have a question about so you have $1 billion and you want to send over $1 billion. I assume you're holding this $1 billion. If you're not invested in crypto, you have it in a bank somewhere, So if the transfer of the $1 billion fails, it's it's insured. Who insures crypto? That if your crypto were to get lost, who insures that?
Well, not everyone does.
Yeah, it depends. So number one, it comes down to taking self-responsibility. So the key is you need to do a test transfer every time you do a transfer. That's protocol number one. And you never do a full transfer unless you've done a test first. Because if the test works, then you're guaranteed for the full transfer. So just as basic process, always do send a couple of dollars. Once it's verified to go through, then you go and do it. If you do send money, crypto to a bad address because you copied and pasted something wrong or you made a mistake, yeah, you're going to lose it because you need to do things correctly. Not, there are risks involved with it.
What is your all's background? We'll start, Justin, we'll start with you. What is your background and what kind of got you into this field?
I've been a business owner for many years, owning many different businesses in actually different markets. And I had actually met Omar. I mean, what do you think? Over a decade ago, probably more like 12 or 13 years. And I was at a trading event and he was giving a presentation. I've been day trading for the better part of 10 to 15 years because I like doing it and was pretty good at it. And so Omar and I had met through those channels, kind of brought us to this point because we had been traders for a long time. And if you guys most people think of traders as those people that have all those screens in front of them. And
right.
That's what I did. So we always have a saying here at Viva, traders work for their money. Investors have their money's work for them. So we had finally realized we need to stop being traders because that's a lot of work. Let's just be investors and work with investors. And so, there's your little zinger.
That was good. That was good. I really like this because I don't have to say a whole lot, but you guys are making me look like I'm super smart because I work here. I love this. Keep going. Keep talking. Omar, you're up.
Mary, I can see it on your face. I've never seen you happier than you are right now because Chris and I are just being quiet and we're never just quiet.
Never.
So this is like the best Mary day ever.
Mary's happy because we got the bar in the office for her.
It is. Oh my goodness. You guys, they bought me a bar. I have a bar cart in my office.
So you're allowed to have desk whiskey?
Oh, there's no whiskey yet. So right now I stocked it with 2 bottles of vodka. There's 2 bottles of champagne. There's a couple of reds, and then I have some sangria.
Justin's face just got really open. Is any big business going to be happening?
Our next door neighbor kind of inspired her. She took a picture and sent it to us, and she's like, "Look at this guy's bar." And we're like, "She's got bar envy." So we're like, "All right, well, here you go."
So we're hosting. Oh man, maybe I shouldn't say this. So tomorrow was Wine Down Wednesday in the building. So the building that we work in does an event called Wine Down Wednesday. Everybody's meeting at our office to pregame before Wine Down Wednesday, guys. So
fantastic. So we are recording on Thursday.
Party in the Viva office.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you give a marketer an alcohol cup.
It's working, guys.
This was a bad idea, gentlemen.
It was brilliant.
But I know how this I know how this played out because Mary has worked for me before. She has an idea in her head. When she initially presents this idea, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. And you're like, absolutely not, under no circumstances. But then she still ends up getting her way because she somehow makes it make sense. And you just end up giving in because she just keeps pushing. Is that correct, or has she evolved?
It's inception. That's what it is. She'll give you this idea, and by the time it becomes reality, she's like, "Yeah, my precious." You know, it's just like.
I'm still waiting for my quokka. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
we're gonna get 2 Quokka ice cubes. All right, how about that?
Oh, I love that. That's a great idea. I'll
for your
settle
Scotch
for that.
glasses.
That'll be perfect. Okay,
Omar, what's
your background?
Yeah, what's your background? Because it sounds like you have a financial background.
Yeah, look, you know,
He's like, I actually used to be a stripper. And then I decided to invest.
That was Thunder from Down Under. He was the guy on the way on the end.
Exactly. Yeah, so I'm Australian. If you can't tell,
glaze over the fact that he's Australian, and you're like the Thunder from Down Under.
Exactly. That show was in Vegas, man. Yeah, look, Australian, clearly, obviously, from my accent, but I've got a bit of a mixed up background. I grew up in the bush in Australia, far north Queensland, kind of off grid, and just it's very remote and rural where I was. But, you know, professionally, by the time I started working, I started out as a musician and then ended up in financial markets for many, many times and that many years rather. And that ended up being managing hedge funds and algorithmic trading funds all around the world. So I lived in a lot of the offshore centers, Singapore, Hong Kong, Malta, over here in the US a while ago, and then progressed into having a marketing agency. I kind of took my data knowledge and then owned a marketing agency and scaled a lot of big e-com brands online around the world. And then further traveled and went to all these different countries, especially in Asia, with a lot of different e-com, and got to the point where I was like, well, what am I doing for the rest of my life? What kind of projects do I want to work on? And Viva, Viva was starting as basically a more traditional finance kind of platform. We were going to run a fund and whatnot. And then we got into crypto, not by accident, but by some introductions to see, you know, if there was demand and whatnot. And, you know, speaking with Justin, and we kind of partnered and got onto the, you know, where we are now, but we had no idea that crypto had so much demand, and we'd, you know, bitten off a little bit more than we can chew. But man, now that we've, you know, we're in it, it's become our whole life, you know. So a couple of months ago, we decided to not do traditional finance anymore, because as I was saying, it comes down to that belief about money and whatnot. So we're 100% crypto now, and that's kind of how it came to be. But most of my adult life has been living international in various countries rather than one country. So I've got a pretty diverse view on the world.
Where are you at now, Omar?
I'm in Mexico, Merida, which is a couple hours from Cancun at the moment.
Chris, do you have any questions?
Well, I have an interesting business proposition for you guys. So, and I would do this.
Chris is our entrepreneur.
I only strip on the weekends, man.
Chris has about 16 LLCs under his belt. You know, he's got reselling and hoarding and all sorts of stuff.
So I will work with you guys and your clients, however, in any form. I don't know the legality of this because it could be considered insider trading. But whenever I sell a stock or cryptocurrency, it reaches an all-time high, usually the day or a week after. So I'd be willing to tell you guys ahead of time what I'm selling, and then you guys can go ahead and buy that for your clients. So then they can reap in the benefits of the gains. Hypothetically speaking, how could I convince how could a person convince their fiance to, I don't know, take the money they have set aside for a wedding and invest every penny of that into Dogecoin?
And what if her name was Emily?
Hypothetically speaking.
Hypothetically.
Yeah, just hypothetically speaking.
Just spitballing here.
I would highly recommend against that.
We're going to cut this out. We're going to cut this out, Scott. Mark this at 13 minutes. We're going to cut this out.
I mean, Dogecoin is there's no use case for it. It's literally propped up by the fact that people like it because it was created as a joke.
Right.
And so over time, that's just going to go down to nothing because it's not serving the world in any real way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, people have made money. Trust me. I've met some people that have made significant returns on it, but it was kind of like one of those pump and dumps that you would see in traditional markets in like penny stocks. The company's worth crap. There's nothing there. The financials are just horrible, and it gets pumped up based on, you know, other people talking about it. I mean, hell, Elon Musk was talking about it. So I'm sure he probably pumped it up so he could make a bit of cash.
So how could our listeners get a hold of you guys? What's the best way to get in contact with you?
Why don't you run down how they can get a hold of us and all the fun things that we do?
Look, just get educated is number one. Our website is vivacapital.io, and Google Viva Capital and you'll see you'll see it's come up. A bunch of articles and free videos. We've got a free Facebook group called the Holistic Wealth Club. So search that up on Facebook and you'll see you can jump in, and there's a bunch of free video courses on how to save tax, how to structure, how to get started, all of that stuff. So they're probably the best ways. Or you can just stalk Mary and tell her.
Well, no, but that's the weird thing, Omar, because it's like, okay, what do you want to do? Well, go to a website, call that number. Guess who you're gonna talk to?
Guess who?
Talk to Mary.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of weird to be on a show where you're like, yeah, tell us how you get in touch with her. See that girl right over there?
Yeah, just contact Mary. That's so funny.
Yeah, that's
so then, Mary, what's the best way to get a hold of you? Because I'm still trying to figure out the best way to get a hold of you. I get ghosted on a regular basis.
I screen my calls.
Well, thanks, guys. This was super fascinating. We appreciate it. We're going to take a quick break. You're listening to the No New Friends podcast. We'll be right back.
Do you like Disney? Do you love finding out fun facts about your favorite attractions or restaurants? Then you must try Diz Hiz, the Disney History Podcast. Joe, Alex, and Jen will keep you entertained as they deep dive into all things Disney. Visit DizHiz.com or follow us on all social media at DizHiz65. We even have a YouTube channel. Just search Diz Hiz anywhere, and I hope you give us a listen.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Remy from Remy's Roundtable alongside my dangerous co-host Chris. Guys, our podcast is pretty much all about what is going on here in the beautiful state of Florida. We cover your theme park news, the rumors, and of course, guys, we bring on some local celebrities such as the 5-Minute Professor from Real Radio 104.1. So guys, don't go anywhere and stay tuned and listen to this episode of the No New Friends podcast.
Hi, this is comedian Miguel Colon, and you're listening to the No New Friends podcast.
Welcome back to the No New Friends podcast with Scott, Mary, and Chris. Justin is sticking around with us. We're going to talk not more about cryptocurrency, but we're going to talk about the first day of school. And for those of you who are not Patreon members yet, we had some great off-air conversations where we got to ask some more questions about cryptocurrency that's not going to make it to air. So make sure you join our Patreon and you'll be able to see all of that in its entirety. So Mary, first day of school for your kids today. Justin, you as well. I had kids start school. I had one kid start school today. The other one's in St. Johns County, so I don't know when she starts.
It's so weird to me that you guys are starting school already because we don't start school for another month.
Yeah, like after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Wait, so do they go longer then?
Yeah, like June 15th, I think, is the last day, somewhere around that.
Yeah, I think we.
You would know. I mean, Mary,
180 days.
Yeah, think about our time in the tourist district of hospitality industry. You've got that wave. You've got when Orange and Seminole County here in Orlando are off, and then it gets a little bit busy. But then after Labor Day, that's when, or after
after Labor Day is when.
Yeah, after Labor Day is when it dies. It dies because the summer's over and summer starts in waves as well.
Yeah.
Did you take pictures of the kids?
Oh, I did. Okay, so it was a big deal at our house today because today was Grayson's first time going to what he calls the big school. And I referenced this last week, but so Grayson has been at a smaller special needs school since he was 18 months old, give or take. So he's going into the first grade. He is thriving. He's ready to be at just a typical school. So he was thrilled to go to the big school today. So he started first grade, and then Dexter is in 5th grade now. So they are both going to the same school and then also doing the same after school program. it's called extreme youth sports. So, really extreme. And
like the hand movements.
Yeah, full hand movement. So last year, though, or the year before, Zoe also went there when she was in elementary school. She's in 7th grade now. So Grayson has wanted to go. He's wanted to be a part of extreme youth sports for so long, and he's so excited to go.
I know. I feel like you need like a soundbite there.
Yeah.
We get them home today, and they're both just like so exhausted from school and then extreme youth sports that just the moodiest, angriest tiny humans that you will ever encounter. Like,
that's horrible.
I fed them Chick-fil-A and they were still mad. Like they were still grumpy. And after a while they came around, and they were like, I guess school is okay. It's fine. Like, you got to go back tomorrow, right? Like, it's gonna happen.
Chick-fil-A
again.
does something to their chicken. Why is it kids that are so like hell bent on that? Because my daughter, she's like, we go to Chick-fil-A. I'm like, what is it with this? Every Chick-fil-A's got like 3 or 4 lines. They got people standing outside taking your order. It's like, it's a cult, okay?
I camp out for Chick-fil-A. I set my tent up in the morning so I could just don't have to wait in that 45-minute line.
Chicken.
I think it's the cocaine they put in their chicken.
That's what
I was about to say. They got to put something in it.
I don't know. Well,
it's definitely not their politics.
It's the sauce, man.
Is that what it is?
For me, it is. I don't know.
Okay. I don't like Chick-fil-A. I didn't like it before.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like it before. I'm not a big fried chicken.
All right, this will be my last podcast.
Get the nugs, get the grilled nugs. That's what I get.
Here's the thing. I'm not going to go through that line. Even though it moves pretty quickly, I'm not going to go through that line. 2, because of the dude's politics, I can't. I'm doing my own cancel culture of Chick-fil-A.
Okay.
You're the first person to try to cancel Chick-fil-A, Scott.
I'm trying.
Nobody else is.
Well, if you don't want to wait in line, all you have to do, and my sister, who is I guess a part of the Chick-fil-A cult, you can go on their app, order, and walk right in and pick it up.
Justin, I like how you say it like I don't do that. Let me tell you.
You didn't say it, so I had to bring it up.
Whole thing. And you get free things sometimes.
You do.
So
I'm
actually an investment. I don't know.
I'm gonna pull up my app right now. I believe that I'm a red member. I went from silver to gold to red, and now I am 3 to 1 every dollar I spend there. Yes, I am a proud red member, guys.
Oh
nice.
Chris, I don't doubt it. So funny story though from this morning as well. Grayson, the whole concept of the big school he's very excited about, obviously, but he doesn't understand how things work there. And so he was like, had it in his mind, I guess, that it was structured the same way as his school, where they do like 2 snacks. And at his old school, they provided them, but we also packed backups just in case. So I look away for, 3 minutes, and I turn around and Grayson's backpack is like fluffy, like it's full, and it
got all the stuffed animals.
No, I open it up, and this kid like had a bag of veggie straws. He had the entire box of fruit snacks like dumped in there. Like he was like, I'll be here for a week, and if you guys need me. I don't know what he thought was going to happen, but he was so excited.
That's funny.
No Carline Chronicles though. They rode the bus.
Oh, I can't, Mary. I did not approve that form of transportation. That does not help content creation.
You have to pick one or the other: the Sunrail or
both.
Carline
figure it out.
Chronicles.
Both. You're gonna have to figure out both. I need the content.
Okay, well, Justin, you have Carline Chronicles. To fill you in, I've had some weird shit happen in the Lake Mary Elementary Carline. Like one time, a dog escaped from a car, and
there was police activity.
Oh, there's been some really good doozies. A car got pulled over by the police in the Carline. Just good stuff.
How do you get pulled over? You're standing still.
No,
we don't know. It's a mystery. It's a mystery.
Jump out of a bush on his bike?
Yes, some weird shit goes down. You don't know, man.
You didn't have your brake lights on. Like what? You're standing still.
They escorted the car out of Carline. The cops did.
See, I'd be more pissed about having to leave I've spent time in that line. I don't want to be out of that line. I've been,
all you do is you take your kid out of the seat and go, run. And then they're in class and I'll deal with this, but you go.
I'll deal with this. I'm not sitting in this line. Actually, that's a hell of an idea. Just park down the street and be like, run, Timmy. You'll be fine. Dodge the cars.
So
our kids go to a private school, and some of the kids last year were not attending. They were via Zoom. And so I just was like, the first 2 days had just been incredible in the terms of cars. I'm like, what's going on? So the guy who normally helps run it, I'm like, what's going on? He goes, well, half the kids weren't even here last year. He goes, and we added 170 new students. I was like, holy crap. Because it was outside the school blocking traffic. And I was like, I never saw this last year. So I was just like, this is a surreal moment. But they're pretty good about moving people. But when people don't follow the rules or know what they're doing, it's like a scene from movies, right? You guys have seen these movies. And the car line where, someone gets in trouble because they don't know the rules. And it does go into real life. That's probably where they get their content because it's like, like you said, they should put them in the movie, someone getting arrested in the car line because you're like, why is this even happening?
All I'm saying is maybe they should partner with the people at Chick-fil-A, get that line moving a little faster.
I know, right? They should consult.
Get an app and drop your kid off faster.
Chick-fil-A, if you're listening, you need to get in the consulting business with car loops at schools all across America. And I promise you'll be the next multi-billion-dollar company.
For sure. So Abby started school today, and she lives with her mom in Altamont during the week, and then she's with me on the weekends. This was actually the first year that I didn't take her to school, just because I didn't want to deal with the car line or any of that nonsense. I would have had to leave my house at about 5 a.m. to get a spot to park to walk her up. But so I talked to her after school today, and I said, hey, Abby, how was school and all that? She's like, well, I had to wake up at 6 a.m. I'm not built for that. 9 years old. I'm not built for that. Yep.
Well, I filled Justin in though. Abby is really a 90-year-old woman named Esther. I'm positive of it. She is.
Yeah, she speaks a lot older than what she actually is.
Well, in a former life, I've been a professional DJ for about 20 years and ran a production company. We did an event for a local school. You guys would probably know they're right there on 434 Catholic school.
Annunciation. Yeah, that's it.
So
Holy Family's out here. Sorry,
I did an event for them. And we were doing, it was a get together for the families. And then they're also raising money for the school. And so they had an auction. So I was the auctioneer and auctioning stuff off. So they gave me these things to auction off. And I didn't look at them until it was time to look at them and talk about it. So I'd talk about what it was. And as I read it, I couldn't believe what I was reading. So it kind of translated really funny as I'm on the microphone. And I'm like, yeah, we're auctioning off the left-hand parking spot at the front of the school. and they all looked at me and I said, is this a joke? And they're like, no, continue on. I said, okay, so we are auctioning this off. Can I have $100? And they're like, no, higher. I'm like,
yeah, that's probably the highest bidded item at a Catholic church is the parking spot.
Oh my God. It was like, I think I auctioned off for like $5,000 or $10,000.
Yes.
Once again, like I'm a very real person. So I was like, you have to be you're going to pay $10,000. I just want you to think about this right now. You're going to pay that for a parking spot? And they said, absolutely. I said, okay, let's move on. And I was like, this is surreal. Like, obviously these people have boatloads of cash because and then I had to auction off a meal plan, and it was for up to 4 kids. Right. And so I did that and it went off, for a good price. And I said, oh, I hope you have enough kids, because you can feed up to 4. And the whole room starts laughing. Like I'm on the outside of this joke. Someone came up to me and they said, you don't realize they have 13 kids.
Oh, wow.
Like, and they're all going to this private school that probably costs like $15,000 a student, a year. I'm
Justin, track them down. They could be clients. Come on, get on it.
I was like, this is insane. So it's not car loop material, but I'm telling you, I was like blown away that you're paying that much for food and for a parking spot. And I'm like, there's a poker game. Too rich for my blood. I'm out.
Yeah.
Listen, no, but you are onto something. We could start selling like parking spots next to the elementary schools, almost like when there's like sporting events and there's like those bootleg parking lots. We should do that, guys. This is a great idea.
Catholic
churches,
there
jackets and little flashing lines. Right here,
Catholic churches, the parking is ridiculous, and people will pay. The parishioners will pay whatever it takes to get that parking spot, and it's a parking spot for each mass. So like my church, it was the 5 o'clock, the 9 o'clock, and the 11 o'clock. So if they went for $10,000 each, that's $30,000 that they made off that parking spot. I know. So last little thing, and then we've got to go. So Abby, in her Abbyisms, she asked me the other day, she was born in 2012. She says, "Hey Dad, were there TVs back in 2012?
Oh my God.
Yeah, there were. And she's like, "Oh, good." And I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Because I didn't want to be born in the good old days."
That's fantastic.
That's your Abbyism for today.
This child.
I know. As always, please make sure you connect with us. Our Linktree link is in the episode description, the show notes. If you're listening to Apple, make sure you give us a review. Check out our merchandise. Our links are right there in the Linktree description at the bottom. For Mary, Chris, I'm Scott. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.